telling you, James, we still haven't a clue. Goldfinger didn't get to the Russian cruiser. For my money, the mob has somehow got them out to Cuba. There's no help that the president is hopping mad.
Embarrassing, because he was nice to me yesterday in Washington. Not a bad lunch. I don't like ragged ends, and I failed in both tasks given to me by London. Get Goldfinger and get Goldfinger's bullion.
The BOAC Monarch flight number 510 to Gander in London is now boarding at gate number 5.
Well, see you next time. That's my flight. Thanks for everything, Felix.
Sure thing, kid. Tell that old bastard M to send you back over soon. Like to have you meet my oil well. Bye, James.
Can I see your health certificate, please, Mr. Bond?
Certainly. What's going on?
I'm very sorry, sir. A typhoid case at Gander. They're insisting all transit passengers who haven't had their shots in the last 6 months should be topped up.
Didn't know Gander was so touchy about these things.
It won't take a minute. If you'll come through here, sir. One more, Doctor.
Thanks. Last one.
That's it. Have a good flight, Mr. Bond.
Jack it off and left sleeve up, please. Too bad they're so sensitive up at Gander. What are they afraid of? Spreading the Black Death? There we are. You're on your way.
Well, Mr. Bond, I hope you enjoyed your sleep. Fate wished us to play the game out, but this time there cannot possibly be a card on your sleeve. We are on our way to Canada, and then... Why I kept you alive, why I didn't crush you like a beetle. You and the girl were useful to me. Yes, I was right about that. But I was mad to have taken the chance. And now, tell me, Mr. Bond, how did you do it? How did you communicate?
I'll tell you when you've taken off these straps and brought me a bottle of bourbon, ice, soda, water, and a packet of Chesterfields.
I have no objection. Our job, see to it. Then you get into the seat in front of him, our job. There is no harm Mr. Bond can do, but he is not to approach the cockpit door. Understood? Understood.
Well, hi, handsome.
Hello, pussy.
Cigarettes, ice, bourbon. Let me adjust your seatbelt. I'm with you, James. There, that's it. He's all yours, Goldfinger.
Very well, Mr. Bond.
You first, Goldfinger. What's going on?
I took 3 trucks and drove across country with my personal hoard of gold bullion. I required no one except Mr. Law. I paid off the drivers, shot 3 mobsters, hired a plane. The crates of gold being passed off as lead for X-ray plates. In New York, I talked with Moscow by radio. My friends there, whom I believe you know, pass under the generic name of Smersh. Smersh said they would greatly like to interview you. In due course, I conceived this plan. Simple and rich. You were carried out on a stretcher, and in due course, my own crew took to the air. Now, Mr. Bond of the British Secret Service, who put you on to me?
Bond gave Goldfinger a censored version of the truth. The lights had been turned out. Bond sat quietly in the darkness and sweated with fear at what he was going to do. The second knife was now under his coat. His eyes never left the dim profile reflected in the perspex oblong of the window of the seat in front. Oddjob's head turned away from the piercing eye of light in the wall and rested on its left cheek away from the window. Slowly, inch by inch, Bond crouched forward and reached with his knife hand between the wall and Oddjob's seat. Now the needle-sharp tip of the dagger was aimed at the center of the square inch of perspex he had chosen. Bond grasped the end of his seatbelt tightly, drew the knife back 2 inches,
And lunge.
As he whipped back his dagger, Bond was sucked violently against the back of Oddjob's seat with a force that tore the end of the seatbelt from his hand. Oddjob's body seemed to elongate towards the howling black aperture. His head went through, and his shoulders hit the frame. Then the Korean's body was slowly, foot by foot, sucked through the aperture and out like toothpaste into space.
Mr. Bond, you will kill us all!
No, Goldfinger. Just you.
You could have had a meal and gold.
Pilot, Goldfinger's dead.
Oh, mein Gott.
If anyone moves or disobeys an order, I shall kill them too. What's your position, height, and speed?
So we're about 500 miles east of Goose Bay. Our ground speed is 250 miles per hour. Our height, 2,000. Please.
How much flying can you do at this altitude? You must be using up fuel pretty fast.
But yes, sir, I estimate we have less than an hour left.
Where's weathership Charlie?
About 300 miles to the northeast, sir.
Right. On the course for weathership Charlie. Call them up now. We'll get as close to them as possible.
Yes, sir. Ocean Station Charlie. This is Speedbird 510. Golf Alpha Lima Golf Yankee calling C for Charlie.
Oh, and tell them I want whiskey for 1 and irons for 5 waiting.
Huh?
And a cup of tea. I've got a pretty dull one.
James, you might make it 2 whiskeys. Tea makes me hiccup.
Pussy, get back in your basket. Wow, this is more like it. Cheers.
To you, James. Will you write to me in Sing Sing?
They told me you only like women.
Well, I never met a man before. I come from the South. You know the definition of a virgin down there? It's a girl who can run faster than a brother. In my case, I couldn't run as fast as my uncle. I was 12, and that ain't so good, James. You ought to be able to guess that.
All you need is a course of TLC.
TLC?
Tender loving care treatment. That's what they write on the paperwork when a waif gets rescued.
I'd like that, James. Very much. When's it gonna start?
No.
In Goldfinger by Ian Fleming, Ian McKellen played Goldfinger and Toby Stevens James Bond. Rosamund Pike played Pussy Galore, Lisa Dillon was Tilly Masterton, and Anna Louise Plowman Jill Masterton. M was played by John Standing, Colonel Smithers Ian Ogilvy, DuPont Henry Goodman, Hawker Alistair McGowan, and Odd Job John David Yu. The mobsters, Jed Midnight Nigel Anthony, Helmut Springer, Hector Elizondo, Mr. Strap, Tom Hollander, and Johnny Solo, Tim Piggott-Smith. Alfred and the airline captain, Alan Shearman. Nigel Kelton and the station superintendent, Matthew Wolfe. The nurse, Tracy Pattin. The doctors and the pilot, Kyle Solar. And Felix Leiter, Lloyd Owen. Martin Jarvis was the voice of Ian Fleming, and other parts were played by members of the cast. The music was specially composed by Mark Holden and Sam Barber. Goldfinger was dramatized by Archie Scotney, directed by Martin Jarvis, and is a Jarvis and Ayres production for BBC Radio 4.